to the Really Likable Geeks podcast. I'm Steve.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Stuart.
This is a podcast where we talk about nerd stuff and things that keep you from going outside, like video games, comic books, anime, and other nerd things alike. How's it going, guys? Richard Gere.
At some point, we're going to release all like the pre-roll stuff.
We have to.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do it for the 100th episode. All of our pre-roll.
That's just the episode.
It'll just be a whole bunch of like pre-roll stuff.
Constant
really funny.
Some of the old stuff, we'd go on for like an hour before we're actually like, all right, let's start the episode.
Yeah, now that we've talked about everything we were going to talk about, let's talk about it.
Yeah, it's just an hour of nonsense.
I have started working on like a small clip show though that is pretty fantastic. So dating all the way back to when we started doing video, which I think was like episode...
That first camera test in Matt's living room?
I have that, yeah. I think it's like... We actually started doing video, I think, at like episode 20 or something like that. So that's a lot of episodes. I know a lot of them we didn't do video on because we had issues, but we have so much.
Let's face it, we still have issues.
Gosh. Yeah, true. And there's for the 100th episode is going to be 2 quick clip shows in the episode. One is some of, hands down, the funniest little bits that have happened on the podcast. And then the best arguments between me and Stuart.
Fight.
Did you find what me and Matt argued about?
I did.
Oh,
I don't remember what it was.
Tell us. Oh, okay.
I can't off the top of my head remember what it was, but I did find it. I have the episode like tagged and everything.
Do you remember? I have no idea.
You guys fucking went in on each other. I was like, whoa.
I don't remember. What episode was it?
It was like episode in the 60s. I can't remember.
I remember disagreeing with you on things, but never to the point where we actually argued.
You guys were arguing.
I remember being
there's
wrong
a weird
lot.
one. There's another one too.
I've seen a Bible.
That's in the clip show.
I've seen a Bible.
That one's in there, and then there's in the argument one. There's an argument between me and Matt too. That's one. Of those
I vaguely
rare
remember
ones.
that one. I remember making faces at the camera, like Orlando Bloom in Lord of the Rings style.
Yeah,
because I couldn't figure out what to do, so I just started.
Hi, welcome to my world.
Yeah, and then he was shocked. He was like, yeah. At one point, you're like, like what's happening? So those are good. Those are gonna be some good clips in there, and then some. I guess maybe we should make a small clip of things that we've talked about pre-show stuff because. So just have 3 that'll roll through. So maybe we'll do that. It depends on how much editing time I have. We're still a good ways off. We're only on episode 92, so we have plenty of time.
Hold on.
Math is hard, I know.
You have 7 left.
Yeah, math is hard. I have 8 left, but it's okay.
No, because the 8th one is 100, so it has to be done by 8.
Facts.
Math is hard. Math is very hard.
I wasn't even gonna say anything. I was just gonna let it slide. He's the one that.
Math is hard. Apparently, golf is really hard.
Golf is hard.
My the PGA instructor that I have.
I was
today
like, I don't understand how it's hard. I slept with a bunch of waitresses. Like, where's Nike?
If only it was
Tiger
that
Woods
easier.
joke. 8 years too late. All right.
That's still funny. Yeah, my PGA coach was like, yeah, golf is a lot like life, but you don't hear anybody out on the golf course being like, life is hard, like mid-swing. Just golf is hard.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah. I was like, well, now I'm going to start saying life is hard every time I fuck up.
That's funny. I'm not paying you for that.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah. Facts. Yeah. All right, so how you guys been?
Good.
Great.
That's it.
Matt, how about you?
Move on.
Tolerable.
Tolerable?
See, that was way worse than mine.
Okay. So we've been playing, Matt, me and you've been playing a lot of Rocket League, as we do. And recently, Epic had one of their updates for the new...
Yeah, they're prepping to launch the free-to-play on the 23rd.
Is it the 23rd?
23rd is when it goes live.
So we played last night with Ryan. What are your thoughts on the update, honestly? Because I'm so... If anybody knows, like, has listened to the podcast for a long time, you guys should know that me and Matt are really big Rocket League fans. Real big.
At the end of the day, honestly, my opinion of the game hasn't changed a whole lot. I didn't notice a lot of difference in the gameplay. The whole layout and the UI and everything changed, which, I mean, whatever.
Oh, you're talking about on the main menu.
Yeah, it's a layout. Buttons look different.
Yeah, it's not that different.
Pretty freaking hell. Like, I can figure out where they are. They all do the same things. Rankings still what they are.
Whoopty hell.
The game
I just realized you
modes,
said
the
that.
game modes that have rankings still have rankings. I was where I was. Like, I didn't notice a whole lot of difference. Servers seemed a little off, a little twitchy, but that was just my opinion of it.
I think that's. I don't know. I haven't confirmed if with the update they transferred the game to
I don't
now
know.
be on Epic servers, but I definitely noticed
It seemed a little glitchy.
some server issues, like rubber banding issues for sure.
It was after a patch though, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had a
I mean,
pretty good sized patch.
It's a
recently.
big patch,
It was
too.
a pretty
Like,
good sized patch.
they're-
that's what I'm saying. People always play a game more often right around patches.
Yeah,
so
that's
it could
true.
have just been server overload.
But it was weird because like when I was playing, I had like a 9 ping, and
I
I was
was in, like, the 20s.
and I was rubber banding. Like I would start going up for the ball, and suddenly I'd be back on the ground, like at the start point, like multiple times, and I'm like, how? Like, and then the other team, they're like, is anybody lagging? And
See,
I'm
I didn't get any rubber banding issues, but I did get like glitch issues where I'd hit the ball, but then after I hit it, it's almost as if it hit a different part of my car. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I hit it, but not the direction I wanted. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah,
what?
you did that when you
What?
went up for it, hit it on the right, and so the ball should have went right, but it went left.
Yeah, it happened a few
It
times.
was
where I'm
it
just
was
like,
odd.
what the hell?
So that's kind of weird. I'm a little nervous for when it actually does go free to play.
yeah, that's always a death knell for games when I've played them.
Yeah, there are games that have gone to free to play. There are games that have gone free to play that are good.
Okay, name me one.
Counter-Strike went free to play, and it's still good.
Wait, you had to pay for Counter-Strike?
CS:GO.
Yeah,
it was like
it was
$20
originally.
no, I think it was like $10 or something like that.
I think it
can't
was a
remember.
$9.99
Never
game.
paid for a Counter-Strike game.
Really?
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, CS:GO was like $10 or something like that, but
It
it went free to
a
play.
long time ago, though.
Like
Okay, I'll
2
give you
years
that
ago?
one. I'll give you that one.
And
I mean, it started out as a free game though.
Source was right.
Yeah.
CS Source?
That's what I'm saying. Like so.
CS:GO, like they had a price tag on it. Now it's free to play, and it hasn't really changed. They now have a feature called Prime, which like basically you just verify that account is your main account, because one Steam account per phone number, kind of thing. So it just prevents a lot of people from making a bunch of like different accounts and hacking. So if you have a Prime account, that account it gets banned. It's done. You know, most people who make alt accounts, they don't care if it gets banned. You know, but the main account is the one they want to hold people accountable for. So
Right.
there's Prime on it. So I would hope that. I mean, it's already got Rocket League going to Epic already is something that I'm not too happy about.
Yeah,
and
I
I'm sure a
didn't-
lot of other people aren't happy about.
I didn't like their idea with the blueprints, but
I
whatever.
cannot stand the blueprints thing, man, because it was like I had no problem throwing $5. We've stated this on the podcast before. I had no problem throwing $5 at Rocket League at Psyonix to get a crate for a chance to win something. I now have a problem for being shown what I'm able to get and for the amount of money that it is.
Yeah.
$20 a standard for like a fucking skin
Or 25.
That's fucking crazy.
is insane.
Well,
There's
no, okay,
it's so
$20 for
stupid.
any skin is
It's
no.
bonkers.
Stuart, here. Let me do you one better. There's tags that you can have on these skins, like say painted. So one section of it will be a color that's different from the skin that usually is. For instance, I have a car that's painted green. So there's parts of the body of the car that are green. No matter what colors I put on the whichever team, part of that car will always be green just because it's painted.
Yeah.
Conversely, there's also other tags on it that give you like they basically just give you like a counter.
They're like a tracker.
Yeah, it's just a tracker.
Go how many goals
Wins,
you've had.
MVPs, goals, saves,
So it's,
whatever.
it's a college football helmet.
Sure.
Yeah.
But here's the kicker. If you have a skin that's normally $20 that has that little verified thing that tracks your goals, it's $25 now.
Yeah.
It's the same skin. Nothing's different about it other than that tracker, but because it has that, it's $25.
So what if you already have the skin? Do you have to pay $25 just for the tracker or $5?
if you already have the skin that doesn't have the tracker, and you get a blueprint of that skin with the tracker, and you want it,
You just get
$25.
$25.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's horseshit.
So it's
I
just
think $20
another
for
version
a
of it.
skin is stupid to begin
It's
with.
insane.
They
I'm
weren't
not-
that much
There was-
when I played with you guys.
There was like
I paid $5 for the Batmobile.
when we played, that was a few years ago.
No, actually,
so-
you know what? I paid $5 for a pack, and it had the
Yeah.
You paid for the Batman pack, didn't you?
I paid for a movie pack, and it was
Oh,
$7.50.
yeah.
It had the Batmobile.
And it had the Jurassic Park
It had the
Jeep?
Jurassic Park Jeep, and then it had what I wanted.
the DeLorean.
No, the Skyline from Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Yeah,
Because I wanted the Skyline.
yeah. You wanted the
So it was $7 for 3 of them.
Yeah.
So $20 for one is horseshit.
yeah. Now they don't even like have packs anymore.
Yeah,
like
they don't-
feature packs.
that's
But
Not even a thing.
with the, I don't know if did you watch the new season release trailer?
No.
So they posted it on Twitter, it was on YouTube and everything, and it was for coming free to play September 23rd.
I've
So
seen highlights, but I didn't actually watch it.
watching it, since I tried it. You guys can rip on me, and I totally deserve it. But
Okay.
Dakota, who we were playing Among Us with, the guy we were playing Among Us with last night with Ryan.
I wasn't actually playing.
Oh, you weren't. You popped in the Discord.
Yeah.
The other guy that was there is Dakota. He's
Right.
usually the guy I play Siege with and stuff. We downloaded Fortnite just to play it and try it, and yeah, we are horrible, and we were purposely like just messing around in that game because that game is just ridiculous. But anyways, because of like the small like couple weeks that we played it just for shits and giggles, watching the free to play trailer is very Fortnite reminiscent. It's got a lot of elements that scream Fortnite.
Well, I
and
mean,
at the end,
that's their
cash
golden
grab.
cow.
At the end of the video, it says Rocket League Season 1 coming September 23rd or whatever. You can see a shadow go underneath the logo of Rocket League, and it makes like this like horn sound. It's the
bus.
It's the bus from Fortnite. So I'm assuming they're going to throw that into
Lame.
Rocket League as the next bundle.
Lame.
Yeah.
You know where
Yeah.
Rocket League really fucked up?
When they sold to Epic.
I was just saying
Because it was great up until that point.
missed opportunities for skins. Why didn't they have anything from Twisted Metal?
Probably right. Sony
I
owns the
feel
rights
like
for that, right?
those probably aren't that expensive at this point.
Probably not.
Especially because they got
I can't imagine.
Jurassic
The
World
company's
and
defunct now.
Batman.
You know what?
Yeah, like that's
You're right.
the other thing.
You're totally
They fucking
right.
Went,
Didn't even think about that.
How about
Yeah,
the
like-
4 Hot Wheels cars that they got? Like legit Hot Wheels.
I forgot that they had Hot Wheels
that's what
too.
okay.
Yeah,
So
they had a
them
lot
not
of
getting the
rights.
fucking Sweet Tooth.
Yeah, and they do have the
ice
DeLorean
cream
too.
truck.
That's a
them
big missed
not
opportunity.
having the Sweet
You're
Tooth
right.
ice cream truck is a big missed
You're
opportunity.
totally right.
I
They
think
even have
that's-
like McLaren in there.
Uh-huh.
You're totally right. So there should be no reason why they
Yeah,
wouldn't have
they
something
missed.
like that.
They
Maybe they just don't feel like that.
I feel like that matches
Actually,
up
you know what? If they
perfectly.
put that in there, I'd fucking buy it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like
that's-
that's a big missed opportunity.
yeah, that's
like they
that's
should have
a
put
miss.
Twisted Metal
That's
stuff.
a whiff.
They
I mean,
should have
it's
put
been a
they should have
while.
put Twisted Metal stuff, and I don't know if they ever did this, but did they put anything from oh god, what's the name? What's the name of the Sylvester Stallone movie from the 70s where they run over people?
Death Race.
Death Race?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so they didn't put anything in from Death Race, but one of their packs
Should
is
have.
Oh, you're talking about the Mad Max pack,
one of
pretty
their-
much.
one of
Mad
their-
Max is dope. That's a good idea.
One of their packs is very reminiscent. It's built to be more Mad Maxy, but like one of the cars that you can get has metal plates on the fenders that are just
Spikes
spikes
and-
it
everywhere.
looks like Frankenstein.
Yeah,
Okay.
it definitely looks real Mad Maxy.
yeah.
But it was their like Wasteland pack or whatever the
Yeah.
hell it was.
But like I can see that because like they did this pack without getting the rights to Mad Max, so I could see them doing something similar to like the Death Race kind of thing. Because I mean, you do blow each other up.
Yeah, especially on that map, you do. I mean, they have cool cars. I mean, they have Knight Rider, which is dope.
Yep.
You know, they have
Another rights they got.
I'm not saying I'm just saying
No, it's a
from-
missed
in
opportunity.
my mind that would have been a
You know, it'd be cool if they did like an initial D pack. That'd be dope.
speed racer.
Yeah, a speed racer, dude. That'd be
Dude,
sick.
Akira.
What with the motorcycles? That'd be great. Have a motorcycle in the
F-Zero.
game, dude. F-Zero. Have a Captain Falcon.
Just have a yeah, right? Man,
Yeah, missed opportunities. But I mean, it's been a while since they released a pack.
I don't think we're
Anyway.
gonna see him anymore since
Well, the
since Epic took over.
I can guarantee you the Fortnite pack. They have to be making the Fortnite pack. It looks like they're going to. If they do that, that pack's going to be. That's a shitty thing because the packs have always come out $5. They've always been $5.
Sometimes less.
No matter what. Yeah, I paid $2 for the
car
DeLorean.
for $2.
I paid $2 for the DeLorean.
I got the same thing with the Aftershock.
When that fucking Fortnite pack comes out, it's going to be $20.
Yeah.
I bet you. And if it was $2, I would buy it because I support Psyonix.
Honestly,
So I have Rocket League on my PlayStation and I have it on my Steam.
Yeah.
But now I can't even play it anymore
Yeah.
because I don't have an Epic account.
Yeah.
no, it's still. So the way it works, because I don't have an Epic account either. When you fire it up on Steam, it tells you like, hey, you can link with your Epic account. Otherwise, if you don't, we're just going to take your Steam account and go funk, and it's now your Epic account, but it's through Steam. So I still don't have an Epic account.
What about my PlayStation then?
That I don't know because I don't play it on PlayStation.
I'm pretty
That's
sure
what I'm
if you
saying,
get
like-
on the PlayStation, you're still going to have to connect
it's
an
probably
Epic
it's
account.
probably similar
Because that's crossplay. That's how they do crossplay.
You connect, but you don't make. Like I didn't make an Epic account. It just took my Steam account and said, "Cool, we're going to use what we have and say this is now your Epic account."
I feel like it probably made you an account the same way that fucking Facebook makes shadow accounts.
That's probably what happened. But
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't-
log into Epic, so I'm not tripping
Yeah.
out.
I think that was the first time I ever did anything with Epic in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. And he had a point when I was talking to Stuart earlier was that like it's just another service.
It's just another
just
launcher.
another- it's
You
another
don't need
launcher
any more
service.
fucking launchers. As soon as customers realize that we can create our own decentralized platform and have that be a launcher, and everyone's computer has their own platform that now, like, okay, I'm me, so I can play the games, and I don't have to fucking log in to like Steam or GOG or blah blah. It's just
Yeah. I was on yesterday was the first time I logged into BNet in months. Was last night. And it's like I have like on my computer right now I have Steam, Ubisoft, Origin, BattleNet, Epic Games, and then I have the Riot launcher for like Valorant and
Yeah.
League. I have another launcher. There's just launchers galore.
it's too many damn launchers on this desktop.
And a lot of people want to say it's because like, oh, Steam takes so much so much like retainer from having their game on that platform, but I'm like the amount of money that Steam is withholding from you can't be substantial enough to not want to have your game get that much exposure and have people buy the game on a trusted platform.
There's a reason why all the indie guys who aren't backed by any studio start with their initial launches on Steam.
Yeah. I mean, we played Among Us last night on
it's the
Steam.
best platform to launch.
And it's like I couldn't imagine playing Among Us on the Epic store. I don't know why, but like,
okay, I can tell you why. What does Among Us actually require from you? It's to have fun.
to have fun,
To have fun in that game, what do you really truly need?
friends.
Right. And the Epic Store doesn't have friends list.
That's true.
That's right, they don't.
Right, they don't.
So yeah, I can't imagine neither.
I mean, that's the same. There's a thing that Rainbow Six does that irritates the shit out of me. I play Siege all the time. I'm gonna play Siege tonight after we do the podcast. Like, for some reason, and when I launch Siege out of Steam, that's where I bought the game. It still opens Uplay.
I hate that.
I still have to have
I
Uplay
hate when
open
it
in
opens
order
fucking
to play.
Uplay on my PlayStation.
It's dumb.
I hate that.
Why do I have
hate
to
it
do that
so much?
And it's like now I have Steam open and I see my friends list there, but I also have Uplay open and I see my friends list there. And the only reason why like Uplay even matters when you play Siege is because there's like challenges, like Ubisoft Club challenges
I know.
for Siege. But why wouldn't you just make that like a thing in the game? Why does it have to be launcher based? Make it in the game.
Make it in the game, and then on top of that, if you want to like link it to the launcher, you launch Siege from Steam. It starts Uplay as like a little shadow process. Doesn't make it pop up or anything. It's just now running, and because it's running, your game gets that data. And you have them in the game, but you don't ever have to see it.
Yeah.
I hate how they have like in the Uplay because it always forces me to open it whenever I play a Ubisoft game on my PlayStation. It always like, oh, if you get this many Uplay coins and you can unlock this thing for the game.
It's stupid.
And it's like, shouldn't this just be in the fucking game?
It should just be in the game. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like all these unlockables. Like none of this shit like is groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Like it should have just been in the game. Especially when I was playing Far Cry, like the latest Far Cry, like it's like, oh, skin for the Vector. It's like, well, I really like that skin. Like, I guess I have to get the stupid fucking coins.
Yeah. I don't understand.
Or just pay $20 like we do at Rocket League. No,
fucking
get
hate
out of
that.
here.
Yeah. It's so stupid. Like, yeah, because that's the thing with Rocket League too. Like everything is handled in game.
Uh-huh.
That's how games should be. If you buy the game and there's things that you need to get in the game and it doesn't require like real money currency.
Oh, and I do have one other thing
Make it
to
in the
add to your
game.
original question about things I may like or dislike about it. When I first fired up the game, it took me a little while to figure it out, but I was playing through like I think my second match, and I have it set up so that during the game, it's still playing the soundtracks.
Yeah.
But like on like 30% volume.
Oh, I know what you're gonna talk about.
But
Yep.
I'm listening to it for a second, watching a replay, and I'm like, I know the song because it plays a lot on when I used to play back on Steam, but it's not
It's not the same song.
It's the same song and it's the same everything, but it's just barely off by like one key, one pitch, something. It's just not quite right. Like it's just weird. And then I get back out into the main menu and it comes up because when you're in the main menu, the little bar comes across that tells you the song and the artist and and remix. And it's like, and almost all of the original soundtrack from the old game, they're all there, but remix. And they're just a little different. I'm just like,
Speaking of games that didn't fuck up their original soundtrack, they probably the one remaster that I've been asking for years, and they did an actual fantastic fucking job doing it.
Final Fantasy VII?
No.
Oh.
I said they did a fantastic
Oh,
job.
right. Sorry.
Tony Hawk
Listen,
Pro
all the
Skater
words.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
They remastered
Yup.
both. They fucking bundled them together, and it's less than a full price game.
Yeah, it's 30,
Two games.
right?
Yeah. 2 games, fucking half the price, remastered. It's amazing. All original soundtrack from both games, plus new music. So good.
Yep.
So good. Especially when the game opens with, I think it's Against All Authority.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that iconic fucking song that like is just, I was already an Against All Authority fan, but then when they came out and like the soundtrack for the first Tony Hawk was them and Goldfinger and Dead Kennedys and Rage Against the Machine. Oh, dude, it's so much
Social
fun.
D.
Yeah, Bad Religion. It's so good. They did such a great job
That is how you remaster
combining.
something.
Yeah, they did a great job combining it. They've got all the original characters. They've got some new ones for the new kids who are coming up in skateboarding. Even Tony Hawk's oldest kid is in it.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah,
Yeah, Riley Hawk.
Riley. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who
skates for Baker.
Yes, it does. But I mean, first thing I did was create my own skater, and immediately I was like, oh, jean jacket,
Yeah.
jeans, fucking Hessian, big element patch on the back. Hell yeah, let's do
Yep.
this. I'm having a huge blast. I could not be more happy with what they did with that game.
Have you guys
It was
ever listened to I don't know if you guys even know that this is a podcast, but
This is a podcast.
no.
No, he's asking about the thing he's about to tell us.
Oh,
There's
Have we
a-
listened to? I'm not sure if this is a podcast, but have we listened to?
I don't remember how much. We're just gonna fast forward to this, but there's a podcast I listened to.
Okay, so we're sure it's a podcast.
Yeah. So he goes. There's a podcast called The Nine Club. My favorite podcast. It's with Chris Roberts, who is a professional.
Wow.
Who's a pro skater, and he brings on professional skaters onto his podcast, and they talk about when did you get started in skateboarding with first sponsors and everything. So they brought Tony Hawk on, and he talks about the first Tony Hawk games.
Way bigger than you ever thought. He handed me a check for $4 million.
$4 million. He made Tony Hawk, when he first made the games, like they were talking about, he talks about liberties and how much money he was going to make and all this stuff. They didn't think it was going to do that great.
Royalties?
And royalties.
I was like, what? Wait,
Anyway.
what?
They were gonna take away its freedom
Yeah.
if the game wasn't good.
Royalties.
Jesus.
Tony Hawk, like they didn't know how the game was going to do. So that clip is from the 9 Club where they're talking about that, where he's like, yeah, they were saying there was going to be this much money invested to make the game. We didn't know how well it was going to do. He goes, and then like he goes and has lunch with this guy, and then he just slides a check for $4 million across the table.
Hey, guess what? It did well.
And then Tony Hawk's response was, he's like, I got lunch. And then obviously it blew up from there.
Yeah.
And so I can only imagine how much money that he's gonna make now off of this for 2 games for a lower price.
Oh yeah.
On now where like you
Honestly,
can get it
they didn't even have to do that
PC.
much. Like, okay, the graphics look better, but they're not fucking blowing me away. It's Unreal Engine,
Yeah.
so the graphics aren't fucking blowing my hair back. Right?
I don't even play that
But
game.
that's
for the
not what
graphics.
exactly. That's not what I'm playing it for. But the technical aspects of skateboarding that were there in the first game and then the second game, they're still fucking there, and that's what I care about.
It's so crazy.
the ability to manual and revert now in the first warehouse.
There's
Fucking game changer.
Yeah, seriously. That game has impacted like the skateboarding world in ways that are like unfathomable. Like there's a YouTuber named Johnny Geiger. He does like impossible tricks. He like recreates what should be like impossible tricks. And like one of the videos he did recently was this trick, whatever, how many years ago should have been impossible. And it's the video when you open, I think it's Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, but it's Rodney Mullen. And he does a heel flip, primo slide, triple flip out.
Such a beast.
And
It's weird watching him
if
skate.
it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have skateboarding to the caliber we have now. But Johnny Geiger goes, years ago, this would have been impossible. And then he spends the time doing a heel flip, primo slide, triple flip out, and he does it. And then he goes in and he recreates it just like all the shots and angles in the video game. Dude, it's wild. I'm like, Tony Hawk Pro Skater really influenced a generation.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's
For sure.
That's why I like that they brought in the kids too for this one, who have never been in the games, but they all grew up playing the games.
You have you have Riley Hawks in it, which is cool. Then you have I'm drawing a blank on the names right now, but yeah, there's so many that
Well, it helps draw a new generation in too, which is great.
Yeah, a current generation of people who are into skateboarding, because like I really liked the skate games that came out for the Xbox.
I was not a fan of them.
They're hard. That's why a lot
It's
of people
not that
didn't
they're
like
hard.
them.
It's not that it was hard. It's just that they weren't fun.
I enjoyed them. I really
I'm
did.
saying that the goal of skate wasn't to be fun. I think the goal of Tony Hawk was to be fun. And on top of that, they had the technical aspects.
Yeah.
The later games, 3 and 4, went kind of like jumping the shark.
Underground was my favorite.
But 1 and 2
Underground was pretty good.
And well, Underground kind of was like they did some shit.
Oh yeah,
that was
I
like-
loved it.
But you get what I'm saying? Like that skate was kind of the reaction to like Tony Hawk 3 being like, oh, we're gonna backflip between these two buildings.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
Like,
I like the skate games because it was reminiscent to me. Skate was reminiscent of what Underground was, which was a nobody dude from a shit town who progresses and becomes like a pro, and you have to do all the things like film a trick.
wasn't Underground the one where you had the fucking race at the end?
No, it's American Wasteland.
Okay, that one's garbage.
Yeah, the
where
one
you
with
have
Bam
to
Margera
race
and
for the
everybody.
tape of you doing the trick. I'm pretty sure
Maybe
that's
that is Underground.
That is
I think that is Underground.
Underground is shit.
I like that game.
You have to fucking race?
Underground 2. I'm sorry, that's the one I like.
Okay.
Is it Tony Hawk Underground 2? Hold on, remember.
Underground is the one where at the end you have to race against the other guy who's a little shit and he like stole the tape of you doing a trick. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to say it's me." It's like, but it's obviously not you
Because it's on the tape.
because it's me.
It's literal
Yeah,
video.
like-
You're gonna go to someone with video evidence and be like, "This is me. I did this."
But like, what if you made? But the kid's white, so what if you made your character black in the game? Like, no one's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that's you." Like what?
Was it Underground?
Also,
2?
just having a race portion to end the game was
Seems weird.
annoying to me.
Yeah, that seems weird.
I think it was Underground, dude.
Yeah, Underground 2 was dope. Sorry.
Okay. So the first
Yeah.
Underground.
The worst Tony Hawk game
Need
they
for
ever
Speed
came out with,
Underground,
though.
that needed a race at the end of
that
it,
game was
and that
great.
was good.
The worst Tony Hawk game was Project 8. That game
I
was
don't even remember it.
horrifically bad. Yeah, it
I
was
don't
bad.
remember.
It looked like you were playing on the PSP on the
Oh.
PlayStation 2.
Okay,
Like
well.
it was bad, or maybe PS3, whatever console it was. But yeah, the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games. I haven't had a chance to play it, but I'm going to.
They're great.
Where'd you get it on?
PlayStation.
Oh, okay. I was like, man, you
So,
should get on
keep
PC.
the controls.
Get
Keep
it on
the
PC. We can
controls.
play together.
You get, you get it on PlayStation and play it together.
Yeah, put it on PC Master Race. Anyways, but yeah.
That's
So going back to what we were talking about, yeah, Rocket League. I'm not sure. Well, I'm sure we'll follow up on the podcast about that when
As
it
long
goes
as-
free to play. We'll
as
have our
long as
opinions
the
about it.
gameplay itself hasn't really changed and the community doesn't go to hell in a handbasket, it's the same game. If they fix the server glitches, I'm gonna keep playing.
Yeah, I think if they get more stable servers, it'll be fine. Because yeah, while Rocket League has been acquired
And-
by Epic, not much has changed.
And like Stuart said,
Except for the
Stuart
blueprints.
said, I mean, it could have just been an influx of people because it's real close after patch day, and it could have been. It's also really close after a patch, and this is a big patch. This is a prepping for free to play. Like I don't think there's going to be when September 23rd rolls around. I think they're just going to be like, click, okay, it's free to play now.
Yeah.
Not like that's it. What we're seeing is what's going to be on the 23rd. There won't be a patch.
My last thing about it, I'll say, that I think is dumb. I don't understand the purpose of it. Is why are we going from what are we in season 10?
I don't even know.
Season whatever we're in.
We're going back to season 1.
season 1.
Because now it's Epic instead of Psionics.
That makes no
I don't
sense.
know.
Because now it's epic, bruh.
Because then that makes me wonder, like, okay, are they going to come out with new rank rewards, or are they going to recycle the past whatever seasons with the rank rewards that were then?
Oh man, I'd be disappointed because I'd be like, bro, I'm not gonna get further than platinum, so I'm just gonna get the same rewards that I've gotten for. Oh man,
When you already have them,
yeah, I already have them.
even though we didn't get the rank rewards for the first
That's true.
2 seasons, I think it was.
Oh, I hope they don't recycle them then, because we do have the silver for like the first couple seasons.
Yeah,
Man,
it would suck.
recycle them and then everyone has those. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
we're not
But-
special anymore.
we'll see what happens.
never
on the
were.
23rd.
I know I wasn't. That's why I only got silver.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. This week too, I think it was this week. They had the PlayStation had their showcase
Yep.
for all the games that are coming out.
Yep.
And man, did you watch that at all, Matt?
I saw highlights here and there.
Final Fantasy 16, man. That got me. That alone. When I sat there and I was sitting in the living room, I
It looked
rushed and I was like, I have to watch this. And I was watching Final Fantasy 16. I didn't immediately know it was a Final Fantasy game. I didn't know what I was watching. I was like, it's like in the medieval times.
Oh, I guessed it pretty quickly.
I didn't know what I was watching. The medieval aspect of it threw me off completely. I was like, I don't even know if.
Yeah,
I-
I've never seen
It
Final
was
Fantasy
weird.
use swords and magic. That's just weird.
No. I'm not saying that.
I know. I'm just being a dick.
It really looked like it was like knights.
No,
in
I know.
whatever
And
game,
like
not-
Final Fantasy 15 literally had a flying car. So
Yeah, it just threw me off.
Yes.
It really threw me off.
I mean, all of the modern era Final Fantasy games have flying. There's an airship. There's some ability to fly at the
Yeah.
end of the game for all of them. It was only like the early 1 and 2 were really more of the hard sword and sorcery.
Yeah.
Kind
Like
of.
when you look at all the when I look at the images for Final Fantasy 16, like
Because look at the city in 7. Like, that's all dystopian, like, cyberpunk-ish.
the characters are wearing like chainmail and they're wielding like claymores and stuff. It's not like how Final Fantasy where you would have these big buster swords and
So I'm saying it's
crazy,
going
like-
back to more of, like, the aesthetics of 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, which it makes me really excited because obviously I've never seen that in
Recent.
what we
In a
have
modern
now, in a
Final
modern
Fantasy,
time. So it'll be real interesting, and it's just watching the fight, the way that they were doing the fights and everything,
Yeah.
watching the summons. Like that's when I knew when I saw Urfrit get summoned, I was like, oh, it's a Final Fantasy game. I was like, well, I'm buying a PS5 just for that. Just for that alone, I'm gonna buy it. And watching the gameplay, I was like, okay, cool. It's open world, just like 15 was.
I'm not even going to fight you on that.
Huh?
I'm not even going to fight you on it.
What do you mean?
We had that argument so long ago
What's that?
about 15 being open world or not.
Oh, no.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. I remember.
Because it's not.
Being
We're going to let that one lie.
being in the
all right.
same realm as 15.
I get you.
basically. The same style.
It's open world adjacent.
Yeah.
I think is what we called it.
Yeah.
It's not closed world.
Yeah.
I think we need to classify. I think it goes sandbox and then open world. And
Yeah.
I think that's the different of classification.
Yeah.
Like Skyrim, Breath of the Wild, Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption. Those are open world.
Yeah.
I think that 15 is a sandbox.
Yeah. Very much, especially on PC.
Yeah, because
Especially on PC.
I think in order for it to be an open world, at some point at the end of the game, you should have the ability to seamlessly transition everywhere in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 15 doesn't have that.
Yeah. Not
No.
until like way end game.
They don't even have that.
No, yeah, you're right. They
don't.
You're right. You're totally right.
You're time traveling, which
Yeah.
I don't. Which I get why you're able to do it, and in the context of the story makes sense. But it isn't open world to me.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I get what you're saying. I agree.
Okay.
But it looks great.
Oh, it does look really pretty.
For early, and I did
Look party.
I do appreciate that Sony at the beginning of that when they were showing that showed that it was being rendered through PC. What we were watching wasn't being rendered through the PS5. I appreciate them being open and honest about that, which also makes me go, yes, it's gonna be on the PC. Like it's gonna be on the PC. It has to.
Yeah.
99 times out of 100, most ports get there. It's just sometimes you have to wait a few months.
Yeah, I did that with 15. I had to wait like a year.
With
Yeah,
how
they did that with
close-
Death Stranding too,
with
but
how-
they're always going to be on the PC.
with how closely consoles are being designed to just be computers with a single use application, because I honestly believe that's what consoles are.
Yeah,
Consoles are computers with a single use application.
I'll get nerdy real quick.
And I think the better the technology gets, the closer we're getting to where the lines are being blurred between what's really a console and what's really a PC.
So I'm gonna
And
go.
I think that eventually those will just be we're gonna transition once the whole console thing is done to prefabbed,
Yeah,
and that'll just be it. Like instead of having a console or a PC, we'll have the prefabs, and that'll be for people who don't want to fuck around with the technical aspects, and then we'll have the kits.
yeah,
And I
Yeah.
think that's the eventuality of gaming.
yeah. I'm gonna go back to I don't remember what episode it was. I think it was when originally we started talking about the PS5 last year at some point where there was rumors about it. I stated on the podcast that I don't feel like consoles are viable until they put DisplayPort on the console. Do you guys remember me talking about this? Maybe
I wasn't
Vaguely.
present because it was the end of last year.
I made a whole it was like middle of last year, maybe early last year. I don't know. It was a while ago. But what?
I'm going to look up the PlayStation 5 episode.
Oh,
It has to be from way
Last-
back. Yeah, because we had a PS5
We had a
episode
PS5 episode.
like a couple weeks ago or a few months ago at the beginning of the year, whatever the fuck.
It was like December.
It was before that is when I talked about it. Because we
talked about it a lot.
We talked about it a few times. It
Okay.
wasn't specifically that episode though.
All right.
Because I also remember talking about PC gaming that day too. I can't remember what it was. It might have been our PC versus console debate. I can't remember. But anyways, I stated that on the podcast. Well, I stated that because HDMI was at the time unable to output higher than 60 hertz. I made a whole big deal about it, about being like that specifically. Sorry about that. We had a small glitch.
We are experiencing
But yeah,
technical difficulties.
yeah,
Please
I'm gonna
stand
put that
by.
up there. Technical difficulties.
Please
Everything
stand
is
by.
now broken. Sorry about that. Had a little issue there, but yeah. So I stated that HDMI couldn't output more than 60 hertz, and that with that with technology being where we're at, 60 hertz doesn't cut it anymore. We're at with monitors at 240 plus refresh rate, and TVs that have a pretty good refresh rate too. Console should be able to output more than 60 frames. It should be able to do better than 60 hertz, and the only way at the time I felt was able to be achieved was if they did DisplayPort. Well, now HDMI can do 144 hertz. So I would hope...
Suck it, Steve from the past.
Yeah, suck
says
it,
HDMI.
me. I would hope that the technology that they put in this console is able to have higher refresh rates.
Did they not say that there was an optical
I
output?
don't...
I thought...
Well, it's not optical. It's,
well, you know what I mean.
Yeah. I don't know. I would hope that the
I
PS5...
thought it did.
I'm going to look it up real quick.
I don't know. Maybe I just assumed it because why wouldn't you?
Oh, here it is. The key features of the PS5 will also be its capability to support 4K visuals at a frame rate of 120 hertz. 120 hertz is double the refresh rate of standard HD television, and thus will require users to ensure that their televisions can support such a high frame rate. Okay,
So there you go.
so that's going to come through HDMI at 120 hertz. That's pretty good, considering that consoles up until this point have always been capped at 60 hertz. Some consoles even 30 frames. Like it's whatever.
Well, the human eye can't see past 60, Steve.
Well, here we go. But yeah, it's just been. I haven't played at 60 frames, 60 hertz in years. Like, other than the Switch, of course. The Switch, I'm kind of.
I was about to say it, so it's better that you did.
Yeah.
I was like,
But-
bitch, I know you have a Switch.
Yeah. Other than the
What the
Switch.
fuck you playing 1080? Fucking 4K on the Switch. Shut up.
How ridiculous would that be, though?
What game would need it?
No game would need it.
No game would need that.
No.
There are no games for the Switch. It's like, okay, well, you can say Breath of the Wild, but they didn't fucking make the textures that good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The textures have to be good enough so that they look good. Because if you put shitty textures in 4K, it's just gonna look even shittier.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Look at the
So-
detail on that
Look at the
shittiness.
detail on how crappy this looks. Look at all those hard vertices.
Yeah, and
This
the
looks like shit.
And also, like, it does depend
I
on
can
the.
It's
really
so
see
clear
it.
though.
It depends on the art style too, because the art
Yeah,
style
like-
for Breath of the Wild is like
No, it looked
real
like
cartoony, like that cell shaded.
Yeah, it looked like garbage.
So it looked like Dookie sandwich. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So hopefully, with that's the other thing too. Now is that people are gonna have to see if their TVs could do over 60 hertz. But I feel like if you have like a PC and you have a good monitor, just play it on that, because the refresh rate for your monitors will be over 140. So 120 hertz, it'll handle that no problem. So that's going to be the big thing, because I'm real curious to see how a console handles a higher refresh rate.
I had a friend, this was like a decade ago,
Where is
when
he?
the first Crisis came out, he died. So thanks for bringing that
Well,
up.
Jesus Lord, you fucking brought him up first.
No, he's fine.
Okay,
He
make me feel bad for a minute. I'll
Good.
just
I'm
take
just
my
surprised
leave.
he had a friend 10 years ago.
See a friend? Surprised he had a friend that long ago? Is that what you said?
Bitch, I've known you for that long.
Fair.
All right then. And it wasn't.
Yeah, was it Matt?
It wasn't.
I died. Oh, yeah, no, we've brought this up on the podcast
Anyways,
several times.
he was always adding every time a new graphics card came out, every time a new cooling system came out.
Had to have the
He just
latest
had
and
a
greatest.
constant swap on his tower. And
Can't do that,
he was a studio and a session musician.
Oh,
So he had a very free schedule. It was basically like he worked when he needed the money, and there was always work available for him because he could work pretty much in any studio. Anyways, when Crisis first came out, it was like over a decade ago now, huh?
Crisis?
First one.
Oh yeah.
And everyone was like shitting their pants like over who could play it at full
Nobody.
capacity.
Nobody could ever
So
play
he
that
was
game.
he was one of those people. He was trying to build the PC that could play Crisis
Yeah.
at full cap.
Crisis came out in 2008.
Okay, so yeah, like over a decade ago.
I'm sorry. Probably. Crisis. Oh, I'm sorry. Crisis came out in 2007.
Okay, so this was quite a while ago.
Yeah.
So 13 years ago. So anyways, he was always trying to build, and he got close, but the closest he ever got, he like ran it, and there was a whole group of people because we wanted to see like fucking.
But can it run Crisis?
It was like a $6,000 monitor at the time, which was
Yeah.
like an insane amount 13 years ago for a monitor.
Yep.
Fucking everything. Like his computer must have been like getting close to like 100,000
Jesus
that he had spent on it.
Lord.
But that's what I'm saying. Like he just-
100,000.
He just had the money to burn. Because literally every time there was a new fucking graphics card, he was swapping out. Like he changed the cooling system.
So
like,
what you're telling me
13
is-
years ago, that was when
Dead
the
Mouse.
liquid.
Jeez.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
liquid cooling was like first coming around 13 years ago. So he was swapping them out because some of them were shit.
I couldn't imagine doing
One of his cooling systems burst, like the
I'm sure
the
pressure in it probably wasn't accurate.
no, just the tubes, because they weren't. This was before they were using.
Before we were doing acrylic tubing that had the
they weren't.
Not
they were
latex,
using the
rubber
shitty
tubing.
fish tank ones, so it immediately ate through it and it sprayed. Yeah.
Well, we used
So it sprayed coolant all over most of his shit. So that's also why it was so
Do
expensive.
you know like how crazy liquid cooling is too? Like I was gonna completely do a full, like on my next computer that I'm building, I was gonna do a full custom loop on it. There's a guy on YouTube that I watch who I actually met back when I first started doing EMS. I met him at a Starbucks randomly. It was funny. But anyways, his name's Jay's 2 Cents. He is a water cooling like master. He will tell you everything there is to know about water cooling. I've watched his videos. I'm still not confident about doing it because I was like, I'm gonna get this, and this, and this, and thing. I didn't even know that like doing water cooling, you either have to do all nickel or all copper, because if you mix nickel and copper, you get like weird mold corrosion juju because of the different metals that are clashing as everything's going through the loop. Dude, I would have fucked my computer up royally.
So anyways, he did that.
Oh my god, man.
So eventually it got to the point where it's like, okay, this is like probably the best that money can do right now.
It literally rivals
And so-
NASA's supercomputers.
Yeah. Like it wasn't like NORAD where they just slapped a bunch of PS3s together.
25 gigabytes.
Supercomputer.
No.
Like he actually put time and effort. And when he ran Crysis at like the fastest he could,
Yeah,
And that's when I realized that, like, man, it's like a $30,000 difference for like maybe a little bit better looking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the price, and I still feel that to this day. Like, is there really a huge difference between 1080 and 4K? Technically, yes.
Oh yeah, technically.
Visually, not really.
Not really. I think
And the price difference makes me go like, not worth it.
well, I'm glad you say that, because right now there's something that's happening in the PC world that's real interesting. And you guys know how like in tune with the fucking PC market I am. It's ever changing, but it's always ever changing now for no reason. Like, okay, I'll pour out for anybody who bought a 2080 Ti, which is the RTX.
Yeah,
that came
why
out
do people keep eating them?
God, the
that would throw you. Go ahead.
NVIDIA came out with the RTX series just recently. It's like a year or two ago. Maybe not even been that long. I might be fudging the numbers, but the RTX was the newest graphics cards that came out from NVIDIA, and they had, huh? Oh yeah, you do have in your laptop.
I do.
They have ray tracing technology, which is unbelievable. The ray tracing is. Do you use it on your laptop?
Once again, it's not a huge difference.
Well, no. It's just for
and it
rendering.
makes my fans loud.
It's just for rendering purposes, because
it makes my computer angry.
Matt, you know how like, well, you would know too. You know how when you play games, the environment
distance.
would load as you would get.
You're talking about draw distance.
Yeah, ray tracing renders that in real time, and it's like it's seamless, like, and it doesn't put load or anything
So what you're-
crazy.
So
Are
what
there
you're
any
telling
games that
me-
really have draw distance anymore?
There's some games that still have draw
What
distance.
you're
yeah.
telling me is that if I played New Vegas, I would actually see the Cazadors before they were just on me, right in my face.
Yeah, exactly. The ray tracing technology in it it's insane. Well, the RTX cards are still pretty pricey. They're still like for a 2080, still like between $600 and $700 for the Founders Edition. Maybe more, depending on what you want. Then the 2080 Ti, which is like the next little bit above like what the 2080 is, way more expensive. I think like actually right now,
$1,300.
I think it's like, I think it's close to that.
No, I'm pretty sure it is about $1,300.
Let's see. The 2080 Ti price is currently going for, yikes, $1,600. $1,699.99.
I was off.
It's fucking baffling to me that they can, with a straight goddamn face, sell that for $1,600 when they fucking know that the next one's coming out down the pipe like in 3 months?
Yeah. Well,
Like, the fucking balls on these people to sell it for $1,600 when 5 months from now it's going to be $500.
well, I'm glad you brought that up. The 2080 is about right now 870, 879. So you're about between $700 and $800, a little over $800. We can get the 2084. Nvidia just like a week ago comes out and goes, "Oh, by the way, RTX 30 series cards are now coming out, and YouTubers already have it in their hands."
Instantly sold out.
30, no, they're not even out yet.
They
just
the
gave them
announcement's
away
out.
to a
You can't
bunch
even
of people.
pre-order it yet.
I thought they did like pre-sales that were instantly gone.
No, you can't even
That was the
pre-sell it yet.
PlayStation.
Not yet.
I thought
But
it was
anyways,
something else.
they have the 3070, the 3080, and now the 3090. Dude, the 3070 is like $400 or something like that, or $500, something like that is what it's going to be. With the RTX ray tracing technology, the version 2, with more cores,
I just had a
more
big,
DDR.
I just had a big firmware up.
I had one for
update,
mine too. So you have the ray tracing technology in it. That's new. They have a new cooling system in the card itself. They have, I think it's DDR6, I think, or some nonsense like that in the cards. And they're cheaper than the 20 series cards.
It's a real kick in the testicles.
It's unreal. Like the 3080 price right now, it says the 30. Oh, and they have the 3070.
I had the brand new one when I bought it.
The 3070 is $500.
Yeah.
And it has like unreal specs. Let me look up the specs for it. Just real. I know that I'm stepping all over you guys, but
Matt likes it though.
yeah,
I'm in
3070.
defeat.
The 3070 has 8 gigs of DDR6 with 5,800 CUDA cores in it, and it comes with the RTX 2, the ray tracing 2 for $499. The 2080 is more expensive than the new card that's coming out. Still,
Yeah, that's weird to me.
what?
They just at this point, it's just they just keep profiting off of all this shit because people immediately go like, "Oh, it's new, I must have it," and then immediately buy it, and then like 2 minutes later, they're like, "Oh, the new one's coming out." You know that they have like a fucking backlog of all these different. Yeah, like honestly, like Nvidia is becoming Apple
Yeah,
because they already have all this shit designed, but they insist on selling it for like 1,000% over like what it actual cost should be, and they just keep. They're like fucking the diamond market. If they released all of their product onto the market, it'd be worthless. So they have to hold it back in order to drive up demand.
yeah.
And I think it's shady as fuck.
It's
You know why?
crazy.
Because if they actually released whatever their top of the line abilities were, no one would need it.
Yeah.
No one, like, I don't think I'll play a game where I actually need the ray tracing. Like, I honestly don't. Because what? Red Dead Redemption doesn't have a draw distance.
It's not just for draw distance.
But you get what I'm saying, though?
yeah.
Like, that's the main thing, though. Like, I mean, like, there are no first-person shooter. Like, aside from Matt's example, which I don't even know if it would work just because the game's so old.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't think of one where you actually need that because
Yeah.
all games are like full. Most games like they'll preload everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially for something where you'd need the distance. Like I'm thinking of first person shooter, but those maps are completely loaded.
I'm gonna look up.
So there's no.
They're also not very big.
That's the other thing. They're not that big.
So it says. So I'm gonna look up the exact because there's pre and post ray tracing. Ray tracing is a rendering technique for generating an image by tracing the path of light as pixels in an image plane and simulating the effects of its encounters with virtual objects. It's capable of producing a high degree of visual realism, more so than the scanline rendering, which is what we have, in most graphics.
They're trying to recreate how light actually from a distance reflects off your eyes.
This makes ray tracing best suited for applications or games taking a relatively long time to render that can be tolerated, as in still computer-generated images and film and television VFX, but more poorly suited in real-time applications speed is critical in rendering each frame, like in video games, of course, because as you move forward, the environment change. So ray tracing
Speeds it up.
Yeah, fixes that. But it's just crazy to me, man. Like that the 3070 is coming out. It's going to be $499. The 3070, which is the lowest card that they have for this new
but still better than the one that's $1,600.
and it's better than the 2080 Ti for $1,600.
Yeah. It's shit.
Like, good luck now selling the 2080. Like,
People will buy it.
anybody who has the 2080 Ti, good luck selling it for $1,600.
It's like trying to sell The Last of Us 2 in Japan. Nobody wants it.
Yeah. Why would I buy it? Why would I buy last year's model when the new model is cheaper and is better than that model, even at the lowest card?
The way that they designed their
ridiculous.
whole sales pitch is so that resale is untenable.
Yeah.
Like, that's really what...
And I mean, I understand that.
And
like,
they
at
haven't
the time
got-
crypto
they haven't-
mining was crazy, but crypto mining isn't as nuts as it was before now.
there's
No,
still,
it is, but like, there's not a GPU shortage anymore. Really, like you can still.
I don't even really... I mean, I know we talked about that. I didn't even really believe it was happening. I thought it was just one of those things to drive up the market. I didn't believe...
but I don't think it was.
I don't
as bad as
believe the
people were
shortage...
saying it
I don't
was.
think people were like Oliver Twist for their GPUs. Like,
No.
Yeah, they were making it out like this is the fucking end of GPUs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It makes me curious, though. You know how we were talking about last week? We were talking about the Mandalorian, about how we were talking about that room, that the
LED wall.
The LED wall. Curious what they.
Super IMAX.
I'd be curious.
I think it's called the Reach.
what
they call it.
something like that. I'd be curious to know what like graphics cards are using for the production of the Mandalorian in that real time.
It is some crazy ass
It's
shit.
probably the Titan series graphics cards or something like that, or the Quadro series. I don't
Disney
know.
has an unlimited bank
Yeah.
account, so
Oh, yeah.
it's whatever they want.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, if Jon Favreau was like, we need an actual dragon,
They just
Disney would be
They would
like,
just-
wait, what? He's like, no, we need a real dragon.
they'd like hit
And
up
they're
and
like-
like DNA infuse one and
Okay, I guess we'll get, like, they're like, all right, John, I guess we'll get to work on that.
and then they do.
And then I
get a
feel like if
dragon.
Jon Favreau asked for a dragon, they'd give him a dragon.
Yeah, I believe it.
Just like no context or explanation necessary.
I believe it.
But I also feel like
He just
Disney's-
wants one. All right.
I also feel like Disney's the kind of people who would mess with the DNA a little bit so that when Jon Favreau's done with it, they're like, sweet. So now that you're done, we're going to repurpose it and we're just going to like hit it with this injection and now it's bright purple and we're going to make a new live action Snow White or Sleeping Beauty.
They already did. It's called Maleficent.
A new one
They already
Because
did.
it's got
There's
a-
a sequel.
because it's got a live dragon.
But now the dragon's real, Stuart.
It wasn't.
So Maleficent
ever-
3,
It wasn't ever
back
real.
to the beginning. Maleficent.
Maleficent 3, this time she eats Prince Charming. For real.
For
though.
real.
For real.
Rated R. Also not available in theaters and also straight to DVD.
Speaking of The Mandalorian.
Well, yeah, speaking of The
there
Mandalorian.
was a rumor. You know how much we love rumors.
I love rumor.
Unconfirmed rumors.
Ooh, what's the scuttlebutt?
Supposedly.
Every time we do this, I always feel like Drama Alert. What is up, Drama Alert Nation? That guy, I always feel like that guy.
Keemstar?
Yeah.
Oh.
I always feel like him, like rumors.
I don't.
The
I
moment you
have
said
had
drama, I went like
zero-
total drama. The
Like
announcer,
the
dude.
island? Yes. You fucker. You're older than all of us. You should not have been watching that. Why were you? You know what? I don't want to know. Anyways,
What
The
is
Mandal-
up, Drama Alert Nation?
on the set of The Mandalorian,
Into the news. Sorry.
supposedly,
on that cool new set that we were talking about.
I'm gonna kick both of you right in the face.
I'm down for it.
Wow, like I'm helping you out.
You really?
Supposedly, Pedro Pascal, the star of The Mandalorian, who plays Mando, walked off set
Why did he walk off set, Stuart?
in the middle of shooting the second season. Supposedly, he was unhappy with the fact that there weren't going to be any scenes with him with his helmet off
He'll get over it.
in this season.
Which,
So,
you know,
him being
makes
upset,
sense.
yeah, him being upset led to him going behind the production teams back, as in the 5 directors and Favreau, and complaining directly to Disney. So there's already been issues with The Mandalorian and Jon Favreau's team and Disney. Disney has been pushing them to make more one-shot episodes that are disconnected from each other, and you could really like put them in any order. Whereas the writing and directing team, who are one cohesive unit, because they're always on each other's sets all for every episode. Like if Bryce Dallas Howard is doing this episode, all the other directors are still there, including Favreau and Filoni.
They're just watching.
Helping and assisting.
Yeah.
And Lucas was on set pretty much every other day. So that's what the team want. The team wants a longer narrative, like overarching narrative that goes for the whole season and then beyond into the next season.
Even if you have individual standalone episodes, there's
an overarching narrative.
Connecting dots that take it all the way.
So that's what the production team wanted.
Which makes sense to me.
Pascal going behind their backs and crying Disney made this whole situation with the other actors who weren't happy with him and the production team who wasn't happy with him, and he ended up walking off set.
Grace Randolph I'm sorry, I'm not trying to step on you, but states that he was upset about that and that he became kind of difficult to work with. And he then, this is a quote from Grace Randolph, the final straw, even though he was difficult to be around on set, the final straw was that he went to Lucasfilm to try to get them to intervene on his behalf. You combine that with Lucasfilm already trying to get involved with the story aspects of season 2, including focusing more on standalone episodes rather than making them more connected, which I've heard the Mandalorian creative team wanted to do, which just kind of happened at the end of season 1. So when Pedro Pascal went to Lucasfilm, the Mando team was like, you know what, you should just go. And then he did.
So there's a lot of truth mixed up in there.
Okay.
And I think the parts that are true is that Kathleen Kennedy, because when they say Lucasfilm, what they actually mean is Kathleen. Because she's the only one who's pushing for disconnected one shot, because that's exactly what she did with the movies. Mm-hmm. She doesn't want an overarching narrative. She wants single one-shot movies that they can make cheaply and fucking get as much profit on as possible. Mm-hmm. That's exactly how she ran the movie trilogies, and that's why they sucked. Mm-hmm. So that I believe is true, and I know that's true because Randolph's not the first person to talk about how Favreau has been kicking Kathleen off the set.
Yeah,
several times. Yeah, especially the days where George is there.
Yeah.
So that one they
don't like each other.
That one we can confirm. Well, the fucking bitch didn't invite him to the premiere of episode 9.
Yeah,
like that's wildly insulting.
Yeah, that's a big
big no.
So I believe that there's tension between them because I know there is.
I hope that it's just a rumor and that he's not being difficult to work with.
That's the part I don't think is true because if you watch, there's the background like making of documentary for the first season of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So in it, you see that Pedro Pascal's not on set like pretty much ever.
That is true.
He's got 2 stuntmen who do pretty much all of the work.
Yeah, true.
Really what?
So like the 99% of the like clips that you see of Pedro Pascal isn't in the armor on set. It's
stuntman
doing. No, I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's him in the studio doing ADR.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because he'll like grab props so he can act out what he's doing the voice of, and it was really funny because he's like using a pillow for like
it's
Baby Yoda. Yeah,
it's his voice performance.
So I've watched it twice now. That's 99% of his clips of him like doing work.
Yeah,
is not in the suit, and he said himself that like these guys do all of the action. Like he's like, I think the first day, he's like, I think it was only the second day I ever wore the full armor was when we shot the scene where I take the helmet off.
So you think that
he actually, so that was the funny story is because the blood on his face is actually his blood. because he was coming out of makeup trailer and ran face first into a fucking pole and like destroyed his nose.
Fuck yeah.
So in that
He's
scene,
like, no, don't wipe it.
Yeah, he's like I've done so much action scenes and stunts. He's like fucking Game of Thrones. This is the first time I've ever been injured on a set.
Wasn't he?
And I walked into something. Was the
Pedro
trailer?
Pascal?
And
Wasn't
makeup
he in...
makeup looked at that and went, "No, you good?
So
Get him out
yeah,
there.
the
He's
blood
good."
coming out of his nose is actually his blood in that scene.
They're like, "Yeah, he's good. Get him out there.
Was
We're
Pedro
good."
Pascal? Wasn't he in Kingsman? Golden
Yes, he
Circle?
was the Western. He
In
was
Golden
the
Circle, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he was the Western guy
Okay.
with the
Yeah. So
the two.
So do you think
I can't imagine him like not knowing that like, hey, bro, you're not going to take your helmet off.
So do you think that he's pissed because, like, let's say that he was pissed. He's pissed because he wants to be in the armor more, and he wants to show that it's him in the armor, and not, make people believe that it's him when it's actually probably just stuntmen.
It honestly doesn't matter to me. I don't know anyone.
I think I'd have more respect if it really was him in the suit, though.
I guess, but it doesn't take away from my enjoyment of his performance.
Yeah.
Let
Fair
me give you an example because we were talking about this also. So, The Witcher, Henry Cavill does all of his own stunts.
Hell yeah, he does. That's a man
But
right there.
we were watching
That's a man.
we were watching the behind the scenes when they're shooting his butchering of people in the streets of Blaviken.
Hell yeah.
So
sick.
some of the things that they're doing, so in order for Henry to be able to fucking like be the beast that he is as a person, so the sword that they gave him is actually only a half sword.
Yeah.
So he's able to get full fucking swings and cuts as if he's like slicing people, but it's not slowing him down.
Yeah.
Because when I first watched that scene, I thought they sped up the film.
No, he's just badass.
No, he's actually going that fast.
There's a YouTuber who...
And then, let me finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
So at the end of the scene, or at the end of that sequence, that one camera shot, he throws a sword that he took
dude.
from someone else, and it's the behind the scenes footage. So you actually see him throw a fake prop sword so hard at someone that it sticks in the fucking wood post.
So sick.
He throws a fake sword so hard that it sticks in the wood post next to the guy that he was like in the film throwing the sword and stabbing him in the chest.
Yeah.
And like everyone's silent and waiting for the cut call from the director. And finally you hear like, cut, go. Everyone's like, oh my God. And the stuntman's like, because the sword's still fucking
still
wobbling.
Yeah.
And Henry's like, oh, threw that one hard. Like,
He's such a
good
beast.
Lord.
There is a YouTube guy that is like a sword master or whatever the hell, and he goes through all of these like fight scenes with crazy medieval swords and stuff like that, like knights and stuff. And he goes, that scene came up where he's just murking fools, and he goes, well, first thing I'm going to say is that traditionally somebody would not hold a sword like that or fight with a sword, but it's Henry
And that
Cavill.
reverse grip?
Yeah, with the reverse grip. He goes, but it's Henry Cavill, and that dude is a monster. So yeah, it's
probably
totally
could.
fine.
He probably could.
He's
Yeah,
like,
like-
it's fine. He goes, he's
He
like,
did.
conventionally, people wouldn't be strong enough to do these big motions. He's like, but it's Henry Cavill we're talking about. So yeah, he can get away with it.
I absolutely believe that he could swing a broadsword
Oh, hell
reverse
yeah.
grip like
Hell
that.
yeah, dude.
So
He's
that,
such a beast,
like,
man.
but I'm saying like,
Are you perhaps short of a marble?
I didn't know that Henry Cavill was actually doing those things, and it didn't take away from my enjoyment of him as Geralt.
Yeah. God, he did so good. It's so good.
So the same thing, like until like after I found out that Pedro wasn't ever in the armor really for the most part throughout the whole first season, didn't really take away from the fact that his acting ability was fantastic. Because they weren't even outside for most of the time. So you know what I mean? Like it doesn't like. Do I think that voice actors are inherently less than normal actors?
No.
Then there you go.
Fair
you know
enough.
what I mean?
Fair
Like
enough,
I just the character wouldn't be the same character or wouldn't have the same ability to transcend like through the screen if it wasn't Pedro Pascal's voice.
Right.
So I think like maybe they're saying like maybe he's like, oh, I want my mannerisms, but I don't know. I can't. That's why I don't believe that's true. Like I don't think that he got mad that they're not showing his face.
Ultimately, I kind of feel like I could see celebrities on a set getting, I don't know, I guess heated over like, well, I want this. Well, you're not going to get this because we're doing this. Well, I don't like that. Like, I could see that happening, but I don't.
He doesn't
see
seem
it.
like a diva, so I didn't.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I
that.
could see celebrities doing that. So if this was the rumor in my head, I go, okay, I guess. But then the rumor's like, oh, he walked off set. I find that part hard to believe. Like, that's just ridiculous.
You want to tinfoil my theory of what actually is happening?
Sure.
I don't know if you've seen all the flack that Gina Carano's been catching on.
Sorry.
But all the shit she's been catching on the internet, on Twitter.
Yeah. And no,
I have.
because I like. You said Gina Carano, right?
Yeah.
I like Gina Carano.
I also like Gina
Yeah.
Carano.
Oh, they've been roasting
shitting
her.
on her.
Really? For
Yeah.
what?
And she
because
she's
because
just
she
been flipping
didn't
them the
because
bird
she
back.
refused because she refused to put her pronouns in her profile.
Give me a fucking
Nope,
break.
that's what it started with.
That's it.
So instead,
Oh my
so they kept
God,
giving
we're
her.
still on this?
So they kept giving her so much shit. So then she added beep boop beep.
Yeah, her pronouns are beep bop boop or whatever.
Yeah, beep bop boop.
Awesome.
And she's a fucking she's gold.
And
She's
now
fucking
they're
hilarious.
giving her shit for that.
People like one of the best ones.
Go,
was,
Gina.
One of the best
Go.
ones were,
Hell yeah.
"Oh, you're such a piece of shit. Just say you're transphobic and move on." And her response, "You're transphobic and move on." Like, yes,
Man.
finally.
She's so
I think
good.
that this is a
So good.
distraction.
Hell yeah.
I think it's a distraction because Disney can't get rid of her because Mandalorian fans love her.
She's amazing.
She did such a great job for someone who's not known for her acting. She did a fantastic job.
I know there's
I
going to be
really liked her.
a lot of people who are going to be like, Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda, but
She
she
shot
is
a
my
lot of
favorite
people.
character in that movie, in that show.
She shot.
I don't know.
So
I don't know. if
She's
She's my
my
favorite. I'm saying like
For me, she's my favorite character in that
I
show.
like-
she,
I like
She's
IG.
awesome.
she once again, no. Well, to me, she's once again proven that some of the best roles and actors can come from people who are not traditional actors.
Yep. Because she
Like,
used
I
to
think
kick everyone's ass. That's
Dave
what she was
Bautista,
doing before
The Rock,
movies.
Like these are all good examples of people who were not actors.
Justin
and
Timberlake?
then- yeah, Justin Timberlake too. Also did pretty. Actually, he actually has done a lot of.
He's done a lot
yeah.
of great movies, man.
He hasn't done great movies. He's been good in the movies
Yeah.
he's been in.
Like, even when he was playing
he's
like
done
just a
great in
total
movies. He has
douche-
not done great movies.
Even when he was playing just like a douche in The Social Network, I was like, man,
Yeah,
he plays it so
He plays
well,
the
man.
He plays the Napster guy.
Yeah, he just plays it so well. And then he
So-
was in that, was that Out of Time, or was that Time movie that he was in?
Oh yeah.
Was
Out
it
of
was it Out of
Time?
Time? I don't remember. That was a good movie.
I don't know about that, but
I lied.
anyways, I think that's what this is. I think this is a distraction from the shit going on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because look at what happened also last week.
In Time.
Fucking John
Same with
Boyega is letting loose on Star Wars and Disney as a whole.
love it.
And I think this is a distraction.
Love it.
Because I don't think there's any actual substance to it. So Disney doesn't have to worry about the actual ramifications.
Yep.
So I think with the John Boyega thing, with the Gina Carano thing, like I think that this whole like, oh, there might be trouble in paradise, the one fucking Star Wars IP from Disney that is
People actually
universally
care about.
loved. Like, where are the naysayers who didn't like The Mandalorian? Where are they? But that's what I'm saying. Like, is there a Disney Star Wars IP that has been universally well received as much as The Mandalorian? I don't think so. So I feel like this is just a distraction. I feel like people are being distracted from the actual thing, which is John Boyega's very legitimate claims that he was being pushed back and cast aside simply because of the color of his skin. Like, you want to look at real fucking racism and prejudice.
Yeah, he said
What's happening to him is insane.
He said that the only reason why, like, he was the only cast member who his experience was based upon the color of his skin.
Yeah. That's fucking crazy.
Fucked.
I
dude.
believed it, and we made that joke. Remember? I don't know if you remember. We made that joke that, like, oh, black stormtrooper.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be true,
Yep.
which is fucked up.
It's fucked. It's fucked.
He did,
exactly what
and
it
that's
is.
because they pushed
Like,
him
could
out
you
of all the
imagine-
marketing in China, and now
could you imagine knowing for a fact that you're the check mark?
yeah, for like one of the
he knows
biggest
it.
movie IPs in history.
He fucking knows it for a fact. He's not even like
Sucks.
stoked. Like, yeah, it was me. He's like, I was the fucking check mark for them,
Yeah.
and he hates it.
I would too.
Fucking love John Boyega. It's awesome.
Yeah.
They made money off of that.
Respect to him for speaking
Yeah,
truth
man.
to power.
He's the shit. He's the shit.
So
Yeah, dude.
I mean,
like-
this is the same guy who was out in the streets protesting. I don't see celebrities do that. And there's pictures of him out there with everyone.
By the way,
He seems like a real down to earth kind of guy.
real quick, because we didn't touch on this on the last episode, and I felt like that we probably should have. Chadwick Boseman. We didn't talk about him.
Oh yeah.
the reason I didn't bring it up is I didn't really want to stand on his grave. And I feel like way too many people were.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
If only Chadwick Boseman was here, he would
Yeah.
agree with us. Like, dude, he just died.
Yeah. Chadwick Boseman was he was a great person. He really was. He was a great actor. And man, that came as such a shock.
I give
Yeah, that was-
such a huge amount of respect to him for filming not only all of the Marvel movies, but 42 while battling cancer.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yep.
That he was able to, while going through cancer treatment, still be athletic enough to perform in all of those movies.
Yeah.
So I have nothing but respect for him as a person.
Yeah.
It's
He's
incredible.
And it's
And keep it out of the media.
And to keep it out of the media, to not make a spectacle of his disease.
Yeah, which is
Which-
insane.
Again,
Because
even
they
on
would.
top of that,
They would do that in a heartbeat.
Oh, I have so much respect for him as a person, and I feel terrible for his family. And I guess that's why we didn't really.
I hate the fact that a lot of people were like, when he passed. There is one thing that I did not like, and when he passed, obviously it's very sad. I hated how many people were like, "What's going to happen to Black Panther now?" Man, who fucking
Dude,
cares?
chill.
Who cares what's going to
Chill.
happen, dude? Like, what's that?
She wasn't a fan of Black
You didn't like
Panther.
Black Panther? I thought Black Panther was like one of the best Marvel
Oh,
movies.
I disagree.
I
One of the
did.
best ones. Nah.
I didn't want to see that
it's
movie.
better than Thor 2, but
I didn't want to see that movie just because I was like, I don't really care about that character. Like, he didn't really make an impact when like Avengers was out and blah blah all that stuff. I was like, eh. So I held off on watching that movie. And when I did watch it, I was like, I fucked up. I should have seen this movie.
I
in theaters.
think that movie would be vastly improved if they stopped making everything an issue of race.
I agree.
And I've realized how stupid that sounds. Let me explain.
No, I get what you mean though.
So we have a country called Wakanda in Central Africa. This country has never been colonized, never been invaded, never been conquered, right?
Because they've been hiding.
Because they've been hiding for the most part
With
and not
their
spreading
tech.
their technology,
Tech.
right?
Tick.
So at the beginning of the Black Panther movie, we see Killmonger's dad, who is also Wakandan, is then killed by Black Panther's dad because he was a traitor or blah blah blah.
Who
I don't really
is
remember
Black
the
Panther at
reasons.
the time.
Yeah, who was the Black Panther at the time. But anyways, Black Panther's dad kills Killmonger's dad, who was also Wakandan though.
Yes.
So Killmonger
Because
is
they're brothers.
cousins.
No, the
Oh
dad-
yeah. So
The King
Killmonger
in Black Panther kills his brother.
Killmonger and T'Challa are cousins.
Yes.
So later in the movie, when Killmonger is going on and on and on about how Africa, slavery, blah, blah, blah. Dude, what are you talking about? You're Wakandan.
Yeah.
That didn't happen to your ancestors. By the own history of the narrative.
Yeah.
That didn't happen to your people. Like, so his chip on his shoulder that he has against America, not against Wakanda, who killed your parents, like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if all of his anger had been directed at Wakanda, the country who killed his father and left him in poverty in Oakland in the 80s, that would have made more sense from a narrative perspective to me than him being angry at the country that adopted him after his own had killed his father.
I agree. Yeah.
So I don't understand that at all. Like, I get Oakland is a shithole to live in, especially in the 80s. But they didn't kill your dad.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then it seems like you've been successful in America as like an assassin and a CIA agent. So once again, why are you mad at America, not Wakanda?
Yeah.
So that was my problem with it, is that it didn't make a whole lot of sense where his motivations are coming from.
Right.
If it's just a straight revenge thing, then I get why he wants to kill T'Challa and then become the new Black Panther and become
He's
the
had an
king.
earthquake.
Yeah. California.
Because if the ground isn't shaking, it's on
There was
fire.
an aftershock.
Oh, it's still going.
That's still going.
Oh, what? Woo!
It's going
Meh.
for a minute.
That one's still rolling.
Okay.
Huh? California's on fire. Now there's earthquakes. Jeez.
You get what
For
I'm saying?
anyone who's listening,
There's that, and then there's the point. I forget his name, but what's Bilbo's name in the movie?
Bilbo.
Martin Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
So Martin Freeman is a CIA agent in the movie, and then he goes to Wakanda, and he
That got me so hot.
he wakes up in like their hospital, and he like goes up to T'Challa's sister.
That's where he went after he went on the ship.
Yeah. He went up to T'Challa's sister, right? And he's like, "Oh, hello," and she's like, "Oh, don't scare me, colonizer."
Yeah.
So once again, Wakanda's never been colonized. What the fuck are you talking about? You guys have selfishly not spread your technology to the rest of the continent because you're hardcore nationalists. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That doesn't make it. I don't understand the point of putting that in the movie. It's just, once again, for a check mark. Oh, we told white people to suck it. Got it. Got them.
Yep.
So I think that detracted from the movie. And then the ending scene, which really left the biggest, like, what the fuck is this moment, when Killmonger's dying and he's like,
yeah.
just toss my body in the ocean like my ancestors. Motherfucker, once again, you're Wakandan. Did not happen to your ancestors. Also, if your ancestors died, then how the fuck are you here? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yep.
I just...
I'm on board with you.
It was very confusing.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's why I didn't care for it. Chadwick Boseman did a
Chadwick Boseman
great
killed it.
job. He's a great actor.
Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman.
I mean, so did Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with the acting in that movie. It was the story.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just went on a rant.
No, you're good, man. Gotta do your thing, you know.
Earthquake.
That
right?
earthquake. This is how California's
Yeah,
reacting.
You know what? Maybe that was a sign. Maybe I should stop talking so much shit on Black Panther.
For those of
was the
you,
one.
It was like, hey, stop.
Hey.
for those of you watching us from outside the state of California, now you've got a real glimpse of how Californians react to earthquakes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
That's weird.
so that's happening.
Ah.
All right,
Oh,
whatever.
it's still going.
Anyway.
Ground shaking, yo. Ground shaking, yo.
I'll check it when I edit it. All right, we should probably wrap up with
It's
that.
kind of like Oklahomans and like tornadoes. It's just
Oklahoman.
you hear the tornado sirens, like, oh, it must be Tuesday.
Oh, breakfast. They're throwing off the throwing off the groove. We should wrap up with that, though. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching. If you want to find the podcast, you can find it on iTunes and Google Play, as well as Spotify and SoundCloud, which is the central hub for the podcast. Obviously, the episodes come out on YouTube before they hit those platforms. So if you want to check it out, make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/LikableGeeks. If you want to find me, Matt, or Stuart on social medias, our links will be down in the description down below. Matt's usually not on Twitter very much, but you can still catch him there every once in a while. Me and Stuart, on the other hand, we're there all the time. So if there's anything you want to talk about, any topics you want us to cover, you can tweet us.
I'm there. I never post anything.
I know you retweet a lot, though.
I do, because every time I like start to post something, I'm like, and then I delete it.
I do the same thing all the time. I'm like, this big
It's
long
not-
thing.
It's
Nah,
not worth it. It's not worth it.
So if there's anything you guys want to talk about, if you want to chime in, comment down in the comment section below on the YouTube channel, or contact us directly.
Don't at me.
Also, our social media for the Likable
Nobody's
Geeks
gonna
on
fucking
Twitter
at
is
you,
at
you
Likable
chud.
Geeks. SoundCloud, Likable Geeks. Everything is at Likable Geeks except for Instagram, which is at Really Likable Geeks. So if you want to catch us, that's where you can find us. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching, and we'll see you guys all next week. Bye, everybody.